Okay. 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 You see me shaking my head. SMH. Shaking my head. Okay, this is Evangelist Marilyn Gay. I'm going to ask you to subscribe to my channel and click the notification bell so that you will get all my notifications of all my videos. And I just want to bring it straight to you and talk to you about this picture on my thumbnail. Well, I was scratching my head, guys. Scratching my head. Yes, scratching my head. Okay, I was scratching my head, guys, because there's two things I want to talk about, but I'm not sure which one I want to talk about. So let's just get into all of it. I just gonna put it all out there on the table, right? Okay. Now, I want to talk to you first of all about and before I go into the commentary, pray for my daughter. She just had a little bout with her stomach, and just pray for that she'll come out of the ER okay. She's fine. I believe in God. She's fine. Nothing's wrong with her. So she's covered in my prayers. So let's get with it, guys. Okay, I was getting a pedicure and a manicure. And I tell you, I looked up and I was like, can't y'all play some music or something? Because it was just news. They said, no, they can't play no music. But if you notice, today, guys, is one of those days after the country decided that we all have to have masks on when we go into establishments. So everybody follow the rules, put your mask on going into those establishments. Don't be like me and say, oops, I forgot, and run into your car and grab your mask. Guys, today I had a broke piece of cord on my mask. I had to put my mask on one ear and take that little broke piece that was in the top. It was on the top. It was a string. The bottom didn't have a string. So I tightened it up around there and I was cool. Yeah, I was cool. Cool. Okay, listen. All I heard on the TV was Trump saying they were talking about kids going back to school. And all I heard on the TV says Trump saying, let them go back to school. Let them go back to school. And he would not come off of it. Now, they said on the media, no, they're going to get COVID. They can't do 6 feet apart and this, that, and the third. They can't be going back to school. But Trump is standing on it. You guys, what came to my heart, my mind just now before I did this live, what was, okay, most of the country is against him saying, you don't have to wear the mask. You can go on back to school. Most of the country is against him. He's running for election. This might have a consequence on his votes and what you guys think about him, because you guys are going to think, as usual, Trump is crazy, right? Okay, what came to my mind right before I did this live, that whenever you find somebody that's standing on something 100 and won't change their position, it's because they do not want to lie. Anytime a person thinks it's going to cost them the election or cost them faces against him or her, or cost them somebody talking about them, they may fold or say no. But if they standing on something 100, it's because they 100% believe in what they're standing on, especially when it makes them look bad. Like Trump, it makes them look bad to be standing against not wearing masks. It makes them look bad to be standing against not saying kids go back to school just like it is. But Trump is standing wholeheartedly 100% flat-footed against the ground and standing and saying, stay in school. Don't worry about them going back to class. Just let the kids go back to school. Now, without getting Trump's input, I already had my input. I had a little input against the younger ones, like maybe 3, 4, and 5, letting it be up to the parents because they have to go back to work. They need daycare. Let it be up to the parents, guys. All this country cannot dictate how we do our own families, our own kids. We don't need you in our households, running our households. So if you're a family that's against it, then stay against it. But families that are for their children going back to school, being a part of a collective, let them believe what they believe. We don't need y'all policing them. Trump versus the entire world. He says, let them go back to school. But notice, mass media, all they're talking about is the coronavirus, the pandemic. Now they've scooted over from all of that to George Floyd. Then they scooted over from George Floyd a little to mask. So now the headlines are on these masks, and it's all because of the agenda to make money for the mask, to make money for the virus, the pandemic, to make that dough. So if you notice, all that's on the news and the television is, and social media, is this pandemic. Now, why is it, guys? Why is it? Think about it. It is because they have to stay in making that money. If it's not talking about nothing, if it ain't about dollars, it ain't making no sense. So if they talked about something that's relevant to their heart, they would lose what? Monies. If they didn't talk about this agenda, this pandemic, they would lose money. So now they are forcing those that want to get into a different narrative and talk about something else. And they're forcing them to come on and talk about the pandemic. So that is why, guys, there's all the talk about the pandemic still. There's all the talk about, now we're talking about masks. Mask on, mask on, mask on. Now it's all about having your mask on. We're talking about who's for the mask being on and who's for it being off. So listen, guys, if you want to know why the narrative of social media is still on this hype about the pandemic and the mask isn't, and how many people are dying. I mean, everywhere I go, everywhere I went when I tried to enjoy myself out of town, they were talking about the pandemic and people deciding what are we going to do? Are we going to have masks? Are we going to decide to wear masks? Are we going to shut the country down? Everywhere was negative, 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 negative. And someone asked me, what have I been doing since the pandemic? Honestly speaking, guys, I've been being the same crazy evangelist that tells you like it is, keeps it real, is myself since before the mask. Now, one thing I did change was I changed how I sanitize my hands and watch myself around other people. So I do respect people's distance and their boundaries, but I have been myself since the pandemic. So a lot of times people be wondering, are you doing this? Why aren't you doing that? Half the time I ran to the courthouse. I ain't had no mask. Yes, yes, yes. But they made these paper towels that they flipped and they had them sitting at the table before you go into the courthouse, because I was like, oh, I got to run back in my car. They said, we got something on the table. They took rubber bands, bent the paper towel over, and they attached rubber bands to it, and you put it on, and you got you a mask. Guys, you don't have to spend money on masks. Yes, get you some of them hard paper towels that fold up and make you some hand masks and go for it. So anyway, Trump is on the media right now saying, look, just go to school. And then he went to acknowledge the military personnel overseas, and they were trying to see if he was going to follow his non-mask policy, because he has a policy that he ain't wearing no mask. And I don't blame him. I'm with that. So anyway, Trump was like, they were trying to figure out, is he going to wear a mask, guys? Is he not? Are you on the side that says he's going to wear a mask? Are you on the side that says he's not? Let's tune in. Let's see if Trump's going to wear a mask. Man, they ain't got nothing else to talk about. Oh, my God. Because they done got bored with all this trying to hype up these numbers. Oh, New York's got these numbers, and they got these numbers. But how many know that the hospital is saying where I'm at, crickets, crickets. Anyway, Trump versus the economy. The world. Now let's get into this Jada Pinkett-Smith and Will Smith versus us or social media, whatever. Man, Jada Pinkett-Smith used some words like, oh my God, let me do this half screen thing that my daughter showed me. I'm gonna show you guys. Man, oh man, oh man, oh man. I'm gonna show y'all. Hold on. I'm still on here. Wait a minute. YouTube. Okay, YouTube. Okay. YouTube. Let me see. Will Smith. Jada Pinkett. Come on now. Am I gonna have problems with y'all tonight? Y'all know y'all crazy. Hold on. Let's see what it's saying. Okay, not that one. Here it is, y'all. Red Table Talk. Now let me move this over here some. Let's see. Now hold on. I don't know if it's gonna do it. Jeez, guys. Just listen. See if y'all can hear this.
And the idea of not communicating, not talking about it, not clearing the air.
I'm gonna put it on the screen, right? So y'all can hear it, and I'm gonna talk about it. How about that? Hold on, I'm putting it on the screen, y'all. There it goes.
Y'all want to watch the whole clip?
That's horrible.
Okay, so let's start with.
No, I don't watch the whole thing, but let her talk right here. I want to see what she said.
They talking about it, y'all. They talking about it. I'm getting with it.
Started a friendship with August, and
that's terrible. They were not keeping it real at all. I'm gonna tell you something that came to my mind. Here it is.
Wanting to help his health.
I'm putting it on my TV, guys. It's connecting. Hold on. Hi, guys. Let me do this. Let me search for it, y'all. Here we go. I'll put it on myself for y'all. Hold on. I want you to see the episode so I can talk about it. I don't know if they ready for this. They thought they was handling social media. I don't know, guys.
Family Farms, every decision counts.
Hold
That's why
on.
at Moy, we trust NetSuite for all our numbers.
With NetSuite by Oracle.
Hold on. Okay, here we go.
Situation that I consider private.
You just feel like it ain't really nobody's business. Yeah.
Hold on.
But now Black Twitter has claimed it as their business.
It's a situation that I consider private.
Okay, here we go, guys. See if y'all can hear it.
Yeah. But now Black Twitter has claimed it as their business.
Okay, here we go, guys. I'm back. It took me a minute.
Clearly what happened.
Okay.
As far as what?
Now they're getting on here
Decided we were going
talking about it on Red Table Talk.
Yeah, and then I got into an entanglement with.
She called it
August.
an entanglement, and I talked about that on my first episode. She called it an entanglement. Will Smith said it straight and said relationship. She said, yeah, it was a relationship. Well, why didn't you say it at first? Jada, come on.
I definitely realized that
this is something
you can't find happiness outside of yourself.
Then she started talking about her instead of talking about what they were talking about. She talks about the happiness of inside herself, what she's going through with Will and healing, and what they went through then, and what it made them realize. But he asked her what happened, Jada.
I guess about
and
4.5 years ago,
she
started 4 years
talking
ago.
about it. Now this is what gets me.
With August,
she talks about the friendship that she had with August first,
really good friends.
And then she talks about them becoming really good friends, which that's something that just happened. And then she turned it back on him and said he needed some help, and she wanted to help his mental state and stuff like that. And they admitted, they talked about him bad, said he was really sick. I mean, really sick. That's wasn't it making him look bad a little bit again to me,
I mean, we found
I
all
mean,
those
they
different
portrayed
resources,
a
to
lot
help
on
pull them through.
him and how they were
And
trying to
from
help
there,
him instead of
you and
focusing
I were
on
going through very
that
difficult
they had a
times.
relationship,
And we
keeping it
decided,
real. Now, if you're going to get on
take me to the
national TV, Red Table Talk, you're supposed to show your truth. And I already said in the last thing that I did that Jada didn't absolutely show her truth. And they talked about how to figure out how to make themselves happy. So they separated for a period of time.
And then what did you do?
So now he's putting it back in her ball court and saying, well, what did you do, Jada? What did you do? Now she called it an entanglement for the second time.
With August, what do you feel like?
She wrong for that, y'all. She's so wrong. She's wrong. Now, this sounds rehearsed. She sounds like they talked about this and said she wanted to talk about how she wanted to feel good. And it had been so long just to feel good. Then she said, oh, but it was really a joy to help heal somebody. Now, what happened to you talking about you feeling good?
Just that idea of needing to fix and being drawn to people that need help.
Now she's talking about how she's drawn to people that need help.
There's something
about
that
what you got in the addiction and
that
the people that you need help ending up kicking it with them. Because we've all been through that, Jada. So don't act like that's just a thing that you did and it was this process of you being drawn to. No, quit throwing stuff off on this young man. Now I understand why this young man wanted to call it that he wanted to fix his integrity, because they did put a damper on his integrity, and that wasn't right. But like I said in the last episode, he invited us in, and Jada,
I wish that wasn't the case.
I know you wish nobody found out and it wouldn't have came out. But let me tell you what came to me that's going to start happening. Now, they know that this is true, and Jada may be fair game to come and holler at. Same thing happened to T.I. and Tiny. When Floyd Mayweather knew he had a beef with T.I., he started trying to holler at Tiny. Tiny went for it. And Tiny, you should know that if they got a beef, you don't holler at the dude that your man got a beef with. You know you wrong for that one. So you just kind of was out of order now. This is just something that happens. These women, they get lonesome, like us in this natural world, that have gotten separated from our husbands. And that has happened to me. And you get, after 2 years of trying to hold it down, you get lonesome. 3 years come, you kind of like, dang, maybe it ain't gonna never come back together again. 3 years. You don't owe nobody an explanation, Jada, if Will was gone for a period of time. I don't know how long y'all was separated, but I'm with you on that being your private business and August Alsina's private business. It wasn't the world's private business. So you don't owe that to them. You don't owe them to get into your personal space. So let's just say this.
I can love you through anything.
And I didn't believe it.
Will
if somebody looked through a crystal ball,
talked about how he can love his wife through anything. Yeah, y'all making it seem like everything is back peachy keen now again, but you didn't lay it on the table. You didn't give it an opportunity to allow us, since we're already in it now, to understand that y'all were trying to heal somewhat, whatever the case may be. But anyway, to make a long story short, y'all didn't handle that right. Will and Jada now want you to know that next there are going to be rumors about Jada dating and Will dating, even more so than they ever were. and we know there were. And now that Jada, all this is out, they're going to look at it as Jada is single now. Not single, let me take that back, but Jada is fair game now, because now the world is in on it that they don't have a perfect marriage like you guys thought. But I want to say, food for thought. Stop putting people on the pedestal. Stop putting these celebrities on a pedestal. Allow them to live their life. Allow them to make their mistakes, and don't take every mistake that they make and make it worse. But I am saying this, that if you guys bring us into your world, then you got to keep it real. Just like if you was out here on the street, you got to keep it real. You bring somebody into your world, you got to keep it real. You got to keep it real. I just wanted to come in here real quick, talk about part 2 of my Will and Jada thing. And, I'm always for us trying to come higher, learning how to do things. But if something drops in my lap, I didn't ask for it. And I didn't ask for the Will and Jada thing. It just dropped in my lap, guys. So I just want to say, Trump dropped in my lap at the nail shop. And so I didn't ask for it, but I do know this. Social media is on the hype right now about running, talking about the numbers. They will not get any ratings unless they're talking about the numbers, or at least they feel like they won't. But I dare one of your platforms to get out there. And I'm not talking about the celebrity platforms that are still interviewing people, still talking to people on their morning shows, whatever. I'm talking about those platforms that feel like you got to keep talking about the pandemic, keep talking about the numbers, keep talking about America and us and the coronavirus. I'm tired of hearing it. I've been living my life since y'all been talking about it. So now y'all getting on my nerves, because y'all haven't done anything different as far as social media and talking about anything else different. So I'm saying to you, you guys, we need to push them to get on some real stuff about what we're going to do. Now, this is what I want to talk to you guys about. If we don't fight and stand like Trump is standing against our children not being able to go to schools like normal kids, we're going to rush ourselves into that dimension that has children doing classes totally online. One day, our kids will not be able to go to school. Everything will be totally online. They want to push that agenda faster than it's supposed to come. We're not in that agenda, that 5G agenda that they want us to be in, that flying cars agenda. Cars can't fly unless there's 5G. If you don't know that, cars cannot fly on anything less than 5G. So the 5G towers had to come for those that want us to be in these cars, want more scientific technology. The technological race is winning, guys. If you want anything natural at this point, you need to stand up to our children being able to socialize and be together. I'm not ready for this society that is just on laptop and not being able to come together. God made us to be a force to come together. Even the trees are around each other and breathe in our carbon monoxide and let out oxygen. And we're supposed to be around each other as people, but we are allowing them to push us faster to this agenda than we need to go. Trump is trying to stand up for it and say, let them be natural, go to school, because he knows something that we don't know. And I promise you, if he's saying that and he's showing you by doing it, he's not trying to be the dumbest man in America. He's trying to tell us something. So with that being said, I'm going to drop the mic. This is me signing off, and bam, I'm dropping the mic, y'all. Boom. Dropping the mic. Bye. We're dropping the mic now. See you later.